morning from the Sydney iMoot office, everybody. This is Meg from the iMoot team. And good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are. We have joining us now Caryl Gordon from the University of North Carolina, if I've got my abbreviations right, in Charlotte. Caryl supports Moodle for the staff and students there. And her presentation today is going to be about marking guides, which as next teach I'm going to find interesting myself.
Hey, thank you, Meg. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for attending my presentation on marking guides. And just a word on how this is going to work. My coworker, Sam Eneman, is also here in the room, and he's going to be monitoring the chat box and writing down all of the questions.
Trying to check your feature, and it will not work on the whole.
Oh, I hear something in the background.
So our Moodle site has to be configured right.
Oh, okay, that's a lot better. So he's going to be monitoring chat and writing down all of your questions, and then I'll stop periodically, and Sam will read all of the questions, and I'll try to answer them. So that's how this is going to work. So before we get started into marking guides, just a little bit about me. As Meg had said, I am an instructional technology consultant. I've been here at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And you're probably saying, well, what does being an instructional technologies consultant mean? Well, it just means that I support faculty and students in their use of Moodle. I am also adjunct faculty in the American Studies department. In the evenings, I teach an intensive writing course that is 100% online. In my day job, we are transitioning the entire campus to Moodle 2.3 in August, which is our fall semester. Since I also teach, I volunteer to pilot my spring course using Moodle 2. Since I run a writing course, I grade not only on critical thinking, but on stylistics, you know, all that stuff, grammar, sentence construction, writing clarity, all the stuff that you had nightmares about back in high school. Since I never meet or speak to any of my students, written feedback is very important. It is the only way, besides their number or letter grade, that my students know how they are doing in my course. So my responses or feedback is very important. Now we all know that feedback is an essential component of the formative assessment process. But my feedback not only lets my students know how they are doing, it lets me know how my students are progressing relative to my course objectives. My goal is that when my students see that I have uploaded feedback, that they don't go, oh no, it's feedback again. But they're excited about it and they view it as a good thing, a tool which will help them to improve and to learn. So when I'm giving feedback, I try to keep these 5 things in mind. I try to let students know what is expected. Well, how? By letting them know before they start an activity, the learning outcomes. I found the best way to accomplish this is by using criterion referenced feedback. The next thing is timeliness. The delay in providing feedback lessens its value. I am sure that we have all experienced this at one time. They think back to when you were in high school or college and you studied really hard for a test, or it took weeks to write a midterm paper. And you were really excited, you did a really great job, and you handed it in, and then you didn't get anything back from the instructor for 2 or 3 weeks. So by the time you get feedback, you're like, well, yeah, great, but I've moved on. So being timely is very important. The next thing I try to keep in mind is to provide meaningful feedback that students understand. There is nothing more There is nothing more strange than when you get your feedback and you're reading it and you're like, what does my instructor mean? Now, in a face-to-face class, you can always stop by after class and just say, I have a question. But in an online course, as the instructor, I know what I mean, and I'm like, and I don't have any questions about it, obviously, but students may have questions about it, and I have to wait for them to contact me. So it's always good to try to try to be very meaningful in the feedback. Now, another thing that I try to keep in mind is to identify my students' strengths. I sometimes get so wrapped up in all of the grammar issues that I forget that the student which I am grading did an awesome job with critical thinking. And finally, I like to state how students can improve. Now, given that the assignments have changed from version 1.9, I can now include a feedback file for all the assignments. So what I do is I have my students upload a Word document. When I go into the assignment, I quickly open that and I turn track changes on. And then this way I can type all of the stylistic issues, clunky sentences and stuff like that, and I'm give them all sorts of feedback, and then I save that and then upload that into the assignment. Now, all of these items equal students taking an active role in their learning, every instructor's dream. So we have verified that feedback is important as it helps students to improve, but they also know why they lost points. I can't tell you how many comments that I have gotten, and especially in the course evaluation, students are like, it was so nice to actually know why I lost points. Now, giving this level of feedback, as you know, it takes a long time. Now, I have only 25 students, but reading all of their forum posts and their assignments often seems endless. I also find myself giving the same feedback to students over and over and over. Well, I believe that many of you face this same issue. Now, I have tried many methods of making this easier. I tried to store all of the comments in a Word document, in an HTML file. I've sent it to myself as an email. But all of this copying and pasting, even with the new Paste from Word button, which I love, it's just cumbersome. So, in searching for a solution, I stumbled across marking guides. This tool enables me to create a set of comments that I can use over and over and add just by clicking on the comment. And if that wasn't enough, you can also set up criteria to amuse when grading. Now, I just want a little side note here. There is no need to actually take notes. Back on the course page, if you scroll down on that page where you click to actually enter here, you can. I have added links to our how-to guides. So everything is here: how to create a guide, how to grade, and how to reuse it. But before we actually get into the creation of it, what I'd like to do is to show you how a guide works. So this is sort of like, I sort of feel like I am on a cooking show. We're going to take a look at the delicious 7-layer cake, and then we're going to take a look at how to make it. So over here in my course that I've shared my desktop, I have an assignment here. So I'm going to click on the assignment, and I'm going to grade all of the viewer grade all of the submissions. And you'll notice that student 3, Max Gordon, he has uploaded his assignment. So I'm going to click in the edit column, I'm going to click on grade. And we can see the date and time which he has uploaded and his document. If you keep scrolling down on the page, you will see all of the criteria that I have set up, and I have 3, and my frequently used comments. And the way that you can actually use this is, as I'm reading through Max's document, I can see that he has not italicized a movie title. So that falls under the stylistics. So I just put my cursor wherever I want to add the frequently add questions. And I click on the comment, and bam, it just shows up. Another thing which I can do, I'm not limited to using all of these questions. I mean, all of these comments. I can come up here and just start typing. So I can just type there. It's not nice work. Another thing that I can do is I can set up a comment so that when I click on it, it adds it, but it's not a full sentence, and I can individualize it for each student. And say the concept of this is not what it seems. And I can go in and give a score for all of these. And 45. And then I can scroll down. And these feedback comments do not show up in the gradebook. So I want students to actually know where to find all of my feedback. So these feedback comments actually do show up in the gradebook. The marking guide comments don't. So in here, I like to type, click the assignment link, to see detailed feedback. And if I wanted to, I could upload a response file or a feedback file. And then I could either save changes or save and show next. But what I'm going to do here is just save changes. And then Max has been graded, and he received a 95 out of 100. So that's how the marking guides work. So now let's take a look at creating a marking guide. I'm going to go back to my course main page. And marking guides work with the assignments. So I have a midterm paper assignment, so I'm going to open up the settings for the midterm paper. And you can just put in what the description is, do all the assignment settings just as you do for a normal assignment, all the submission settings. Just keep that going. In the feedback, and here's where I like to keep the feedback comments to yes, because those are the comments that students can see in the gradebook. And the feedback files I like to keep at yes, because then I can upload a file. And the grade is going to be 100. But instead of the grading method being simple direct grading, I'm going to choose the marking guide. And then you can scroll down and choose all of your groups and your restricted access information. And then I'm going to click on Save and Display. And then when that happens, the advanced grading page is displayed. Now, if you chose Save and Return to Course, don't panic. You can still get to this page by clicking on the assignment, and you don't even need to be in the settings. And if you scroll down and to view the settings block, just click on Advanced Grading, and that will bring you right here, right to this page. So to create a new marking guide, guess which button I'm going to use? Yep, define a new marking guide from scratch. And as anything in Moodle, the first thing we have to do is to give it a name. And I'm going to name this guide just going to name the guide papers. Now, in the description area, it's optional. You don't need to add a description, but I like to actually add it so I can differentiate it from some of my other guides. So I'm going to type use to grade all papers. Then once that happens, I can come down here and actually start setting up the guide. So the first thing you're going to do is add a name. So you need to click on the click to edit criterion name, and that opens up a text box. And my first criteria is general quality. General quality. Now you can see down below there's a description for students and a description for markers. So what do you want students to see about this criterion? What do you want to remind your markers about it? And markers is just another name for graders. So you can't really see it, but under the title description for students is words click to edit. So if you click on that, another text box opens up, and for the students, I'm going to type, show me that you understand the Now you have to enter in a reminder for all of your graders. And for that, I'm going to put shows good understanding of the material. Now the last step to set up a criterion is to edit how many points you're going to assign it. So once again, you're going to click on that on this click to edit link. And in my course, this is going to be worth 25 out of that 100 points. And you are done with adding that portion of your criteria. So to add a new one, what do you think I'm going to click? Yes, absolutely. You're going to click Add Criterion, and then we just do the steps over again. So you're going to click to edit the name, and this time it's going to be critical thinking. And the description for students, full of thought, insight, and just to save time, I'm going to make it the same. I'm going to do the same for our markers, and that is also worth 25 points. And my last criteria that I'm going to add is going to be stylistics. Going to be few grammatical or stylistic errors. I'm going to make that this. I'm going to copy that and just put that the same thing in for the markers. And then, because this is an intensive writing class, I'm going to make that 50 points. So I am all done with adding my criteria. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to start adding some of my comments. So down here in the frequently used comments area, there's also a click to edit link. So I'm going to click on that, and now I can type in my first comment. Movie title should be italicized. So I want to add a second comment. So what do you think I'm going to click on? Absolutely. Add frequently used comment. Click on the link, and this time it's going to be And this time I'm going to set up one where it's only partially done, and then I can add more as I am grading. And I'm going to leave that. And for my last comment, just because we have time, in the name of time, is proof, read, work. Proofread your work, missing extra words, and run-on sentences. Now I am done with all of that. Before we save it, I'd like to bring to your attention the marking guide options. Now this one is show guide definition to students, and it's checked by default, and I was really excited when I saw that, because I was like, oh great, students will actually see this when they open up the assignment. I was disappointed that that is not the case. So what I have been doing is I have been creating a table right in the assignment, right in the assignment, and just putting what the criteria are, and I'll point that out, and then show marks per criterion, so students know why and where they are losing points. Now, if you want, if you get called away or you have a meeting, you can save it as a draft, but we're all set. So I'm going to save marking guide and make it ready. Then here is my paper, and here is this table which I was telling you about. Assignment with the paper. That's all there is to creating a marking guide. Are there any questions about that at this point? All right. Okay, excellent. Thanks, John. All right, so now what we're going to do is to view and grade all of the submissions. So let's view grade all of the submissions. And we could see that once again, Max has entered in his paper, and so has Goldie. But let's go ahead and grade Max. And you can see it looks just like a normal assignment where we get to tell, where we get to see when the student has uploaded it and their submission link. But now if we scroll down, here is our marking guide. So just as I had showed you before, and oh, by the way, I forgot to move my PowerPoint presentation forward. And the reason why I wanted to do a PowerPoint presentation in addition to the sharing of the desktop is that I presented this yesterday evening, and when I listened to the playback, the desktop sharing is not in the recording. So I was like, oh, that's not good. So anyway, so here's how to create a guide over in my PowerPoint presentation. And how to add all the criteria, what that looks like. So when you're back here, I know this is how to add your frequently used comments. How to save the guide. Oh, okay. Andrew is asking if you save it as a draft, can you edit it? The answer is yes. And then once the guide has been used, I think, yes, you can actually go up, you can actually add more to it. but you may have to re-enter all of the grades. I have not done that, but we will we will look at reusing a guide, and you can and then you can take away or add there. So okay. So now once we save it, we're going to actually grade. So let my PowerPoint presentation. Oh, what a student sees. Okay, we're not up to that yet. So let's go in here and grade Max very quickly. So I can put in here good work, 5, critical thinking, and click on middle one, loved your, oh, and I spelled concept wrong. I love this new concept of the other when we look at that concept. And in stylistics, I want him to proofread his work. So this time I'm only going to give him maybe a 30 out of the 50. And in the feed, oh, and here I'm going to say show the descriptions to both the marker and the student. And then back in the feedback comments area, I'm going to say, please click assignment link, detailed feedback. And just because we're going to go in and see what Max sees, I'm going to actually add a feedback file, just so we can see the whole thing. And you can either click Save Changes or Save and Show Next to show the next student, but I'm just going to click on Save Changes. And sure enough, there is Max, and he only got an 80 on this. So now, let's look at what students are going to see. So just give me a moment here. And hopefully I haven't timed out on the student end. But students come in here, and the first place that they're going to go to look at their grades is probably over in grades. And for the demo assignment, you can see he got a 95, and then he got an 80. And it says, please click the assignment link to see detailed feedback. So he can either click it back on the main screen or right from his grade book. And here is, once again, the assignment, what they have to do, our criteria that he knew before he started work on the assignment. And then my feedback is all the way down at the bottom. And here is where he can see everything. Here's our marking guide and our frequently used questions and our grades. Here is my feedback file to him. Are there any questions about what a student sees? Okay. Well, then the last thing that we will take a look at, how to reuse a guide. So let me go back to the instructor role. And once again, where do I need to actually go to set up a guide? Yep, in the assignment. So for the settings for the final paper, I'm going to scroll down to the grade area. Oh, well, I guess I already chose a marking guide for that. And I'm going to click on Save and Display. Okay, that did not work out well. Let me create very quickly a new assignment. So I put in a name and the upload file here. I'm going, the assignment settings, that's fine. Prevent late submissions, yes. No. I don't want to be notified when, when they're late either. It's going to be a file submission. All fine. I'm going to change my feedback to yes and my feedback files to yes. It's going to be based on 100, but this time we're going to say use a marking guide. And I'm going to click on Save and Display. So now I get the advanced grading screen. And this time I'm going to click on Create New Grading Form from a Template, and that is a tongue twister. And now I can search through all the forms, but this is a form that I created just for me. So I can, I need to check that checkbox, include my own forms, and then I can put in a partial word. So we'll just make believe this is a couple of months later, and I'm like, gosh, I don't remember what I called it, but maybe I used the term paper. Then you can scroll down and see how many matches you actually have. I only have one match. And this looks like it's it. So I can say use this form as a template. And then it's asking me, are you sure? And once again, I can look at it to make sure that this is the one that I want. Then I can click on continue. And then here is where I can edit that current form, or I can delete it. So let's go in here and edit it. And you can see the description used to grade all papers. And here I could add another criteria if I had wanted. I need to give it a name. The length of paper. It must be 7 pages more. Now I'll come back up here and make one worth 20. So this way I still add up to 100. And then what I could do is I could add a frequently used comment if I wanted. But just for the sake of time, I will not. And I'm going to click on Save. Now it's ready for use. So if I come over back to my course, I go to the second paper. I can view grade all submissions. Make believe that Max is uploaded. And then here it is with my new length of paper. So that is how we can reuse a guide. So right now, are there any questions or comments? Sam, I'm trying to unmute you, but I can't. You use the guide with the grading scale, not numeric, like A, B, C. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. I'm thinking from yesterday or any scale. No. Well, let's see. Let's go to the settings for the paper. Let's see. So let's just click the star rate rating and still make it the marking guide, and click on Save and Return to Course. And on my second paper, when I view grade all submissions, I guess not, because it's still asking me for scores. So let's see what happens if I try to save this for Goldie. Give her a 3 because she didn't hand in all 7 papers. Oh, so she got a 5-star. Oh, so maybe it will. So let's go here. Grade for Harley. And let's give Harley, like, terrible grades. Not because I don't like Harley, because I do. And then let's save changes. Oh, and he got a 3-star as a 50. Okay, so I guess the answer is yes. Yes, poor Harley, but he can take it. Yes, this is a very cool tool. I have to say that um, I absolutely love this tool. I can't say enough about it. It has really freed up a lot of my time. I can now concentrate on giving feedback in the Word file, where I believe it really helps, so my students see what I am referring to and what needs to be updated. I spend little time on typing comments on the assignments page. So whoever created this tool, I love you. And it's really made a big difference in my my grading. Sam, are there any other questions?
I can't see anything. I don't know if you're.
Oh, I can actually see. Okay, Alfredo asks, in the gradebook inner working, it translates scales into numeric values. I guess it works the same way. Yeah, it should in the gradebook. And Judy asks, what has been the student feedback on the marking guide? Can they print it out and attach to their original assignment for record keeping? Oh, that's interesting. I don't think that students know that I'm using a marking guide, because I've used it. I didn't use it in my first assignment because I hadn't stumbled on it yet, but I used it from assignment 2 on. So my students just, I mean, I get email, and my course evaluations where the amount of feedback was really appreciated by a majority of the students, because a lot of them say that their instructors just give them a grade, and they never know why they are losing points. And another thing I actually do is sometimes in parentheses I'll let them know how many points they have lost for not putting a movie name in italic font. Because I tell them that the first couple of weeks, and then I'll take off, say, three points. And then on week 4, all of a sudden they'll start losing 6 points. Then on week 8, if they're still doing it, they'll start losing 8 points. So I really want them to read this feedback and incorporate it into the next assignment. As far as printing it out for their original assignment or record keeping, I think that's a great thought. I'm not sure that they can print it out. They can probably print the screen. To insert a hyperlink to them, to go to a course lesson or reteach a concept. Oh, I never tried that. Let's see here. So let's see. Let's make believe that I want students to go to this website. No, wrong one. This one. Okay, read this website. Oh, and I hope that this link still works. Ah, yes. Okay, so what I can do is maybe copy this link from this website, close it, and then go to the second paper again. Let's go to View Grade All Submissions. Go to Lucy this time. I tell her over here, read the second paragraph at, and then maybe put that link. Give her a grade so you can see how many stars she actually gets. And let's save changes. 4-star. Let me go back here to the assignment. We just log in as Lucy. And I think Lucy's student 4. Oh, okay. It didn't. Oh, I know what that might, that might need to actually go into the feedback for the assignment rather than into a criterion, because then what you can do is make this a link. So that sort of feedback, because there isn't an HTML editor here, you would probably need to put that into the general feedback. Once again, we have all of, if you go to the course where you actually clicked to attend this session, if you scroll down on the page, I have links to our how-to guides, and feel free to read some of our other guides too. Just remember that we still have our Moodle 1.9.19 information up there too. Interested in Moodle 2? You'll need to make sure that you're going to the Moodle 2 information. Okay, well that's about all that I have. So if there are any more questions or comments, I want to thank everyone for attending, and I hope that you've been enjoying the conference. And I know there's going to be a lot more excitement coming up in the next couple of days. Thanks, Judy. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks, Caryl, for that. Very interesting presentation. I'm hoping you can put the slideshow that you've got there up on the course for everyone to have a look at, if that's okay
Yes,
with you.
I actually will.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you very much. I think there's a few people who are probably going to take that one and use it to save themselves some time, the way you have as well.
Excellent. Yes, it's just been excellent. Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at the next presentation.
Thanks, Carrie and John and Alfredo and Andrew. And thanks, Meg, for all of your support, and Fred too. Thank you.